Hey there, everybody. Happy Saturday. You know, every time I say that, I keep thinking I sound like Elmo from Sesame Street. Hey there, everybody. Happy Saturday to everybody. Hope you guys are having a great holiday weekend. It is Memorial Day weekend already. Wasn't it just New Year's Day just like not too long ago? This year's just going by way too fast. Speaking of going too fast, and I hope everybody's having a great weekend so far. I love Elmo. Hi, Jojo. First, I want to say quick hi to everybody who is in chat. Natalie's here. Moon is here. Hi, Natalie. Hi, Moon. Hi, Mickey. Hi, Jojo. Hi, Barbara. Let's see. Hi, Bonnie. Nice to meet you too, Bonnie. Moon at noon. I said, hey, Denise. How you doing, Denise? Pam's here. I saw Pam. And those of you who aren't in chat, I saw Mr. G's in here as well. Those of you that aren't in chat or just watching, welcome. You don't have to chat. I appreciate you being in here. Untamed Life. Hi, everybody. That's a new name. How you doing? Welcome. Jenny and Dave's Cabin Adventures. Interesting. How you doing? Glad. Welcome to the show. So, like I said, this year is going by fast. We had a huge milestone yesterday, and my son graduated. Well, he didn't officially graduate yesterday, but hey, Donny, his last day ever of high school, and it was quite an emotional day for us all. I don't know if any of you guys saw my post on Facebook, but it took me quite a while to write that, and I was certainly been thinking about that for a long time. But there's my wife's here too. Hey, babe. Yeah, she was. We were quite a few tears late in the week, but he is an awesome kid. He did great. He made it through, and just like, and I don't mean to keep bringing this up, but like just about every kid, it was a struggle sometimes to get him up in the morning and get him to do homework, and I'm sure a lot of kids are too. But he made it. It's over with. One more week, and then he graduates. So that is going to be awesome. I might even put some of that on here. So hey, BMR, how you doing? Hanging out back, Paul. Got you on blast. Hey, hi, BMR and his friends. How's everybody doing? Make sure you tune in to BMR tonight at 10 o'clock. Head on over there afterwards, and make sure before that, right after this, make sure you head over to Donny Cho Says Stuff, and he will be on there as well. Hi, MK Ultra. A couple other ones have popped in here. I think I was getting them all. Hey, Roger Blair's here. Josh Casto, the original member, here is here as well. So hey, look at that, member for 8 months. Thank you, Josh. Appreciate you. Dave Reagan and Jason from Paranormal 411. Great guys. I'm going to be on their show. They're going to be on my show. They're going to kill me. I don't remember the dates. I know July 5th is one of them. I think that's when they're coming on this show. And then I'll be on their show another time, if you guys can throw that date on there. So they also do Saturday nights, same time. But so we overlap. So June 21st, I'm going to be on their show. So unfortunately, there will be no show here. I will try and send it on both platforms there. So hi, Jojo. Thank you so much for the super sticker. I appreciate that very, very much. So let's see. Hope everybody is going to have a good Memorial Day. I wanted to show you guys this. A couple people were asking, and BMR, I hope you like these. I got these in honor of you, buddy. And we'll get to, well, I don't know if I'll do that or not. It's healing up pretty well. It's coming along pretty well. I'm going to wait until after summer to get the ghost right here, I think. So I can swim and do stuff, because I think you have to wait like 2 weeks before you submerge it or anything. So, but anyway, somebody asked about it in chat and wanted another show, and I wanted to show that. But it's healing up really good. It's been 2.5 weeks now. And it's really, really nice. So anyway, we have a great show for you tonight. BJ LaPier is here. That rhymes. She is here. I'm sure you remember her from chat. She is, let's bring her up. Whoop, let me get my pen I dropped. Let's bring her up. Hey, BJ, how you doing?
Oh, there you are. Hello. I was on the YouTube once, so I could tell everybody I couldn't chat.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm here now.
MK, yes, that is a real tattoo. Yes, that is a real tattoo. Welcome to the show. You are, first of all, tell us a little bit about you, real quick. Well, I mean, you're an author. What kind of books do you guys do you do?
Well, under the pen name BJ Moore, I do my horror books, and which one of them, Josiah Wolf, is a Dogman book. It's a graphic horror, known to give people nightmares. I also do educational coloring books. Yep, that's him. Yeah, I also do educational coloring books. I do like the Bigfoot coloring book. I do religious and inspirational books as well.
That is awesome.
Everything other than the horror is under BJ LaPier, though.
Okay.
And on Amazon.
And on Amazon. There's a link in chat. Pam has it up there in chat. So go ahead and there it is right there.
Yeah.
Actually, when I first saw that out of the corner of my eye in chat, I thought that was some kind of Japanese symbols or something with all the letters and numbers and stuff.
You expect anything less from me than that.
So the weird thing was, BJ, you sent me this link in a chat, and I couldn't open it on Chrome as my browser, but I moved it over to Firefox and it works fine. So if you have trouble opening that, try a different browser. I don't know.
The links for all my books, if they go to my YouTube channel, the book trailers I have there, the link is pinned to the top of each one of the book trailers, and it takes them right to that book too.
Awesome. And this coloring book, before we get into the coloring book, I want to mention that you are a member of the Horror Writers Association.
Yep.
That is awesome. That is pretty darn cool. Yeah. I mean, you were telling me that there's Stephen King's in there, obviously.
Yeah, Stephen King and Dean Koontz are both members of that. It's a global association of horror writers. And when I got inducted on December 5th of 2023, there was only 2,417 members globally. And only 259 of those were located here in the U.S., 14 in the state of Pennsylvania, and I'm the only one from all of northwestern PA.
Wow, that's awesome. That is awesome. And I have to say, I was quite honored when you told me this, that on the dedication page, Matt Emsch is in there, Bill Rigby, me, BMR, and Ry Voss is all in here on the dedication page. So that's quite an honor. Thank you so much for that.
You're welcome. Oh, there's Matt.
There's Matt. Hey,
Matt.
Matt. Yep. and
just in time to hear his name.
Yeah. And I've never been in a written book before, so that's pretty cool. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
So, and like I said, the links are in the description, but Pam has it on there. Yes, it is an honor. And so go check her stuff out. Her books on Amazon; those are awesome. I'm not into horror books. I don't like having nightmares unless I bring something, back with me from a haunted location. So,
and you deal with ghosts.
And I do. And,
you can't read a book.
That, let's just clarify that. I can read a book.
Just not mine.
Just not horror book. I'm not going to say just not yours.
Yeah.
Just not horror.
I know.
Yeah. So, yeah. So I always have a K2 meter here as well. Normally, and we'll kind of get into this a little later on in the show. Normally, this is just solid green, so meaning that there's no energy near it, and it's far enough away from electronics, from the computer and everything. It's been on the second green, and it's been hitting the orange, which is right in the middle. So there is something here with us tonight. So if any of the mediums, or even BJ, even if you see something back here, just let me know.
Well, you know who's back there all the time with you.
Yeah, I know who's back there all the time, and she's probably here now. I mean, you never know. So anyway, you have some pretty cool experiences on your own property, and I think that's pretty darn awesome. I mean, whether it's ghost, UFO, Bigfoot, Dogman, you've seen it all there.
Pretty much. It's just normal every day for me. I mean,
Yeah. When did this? How long have you? Well, first, how long have you been on the property that you live on now?
Well, we're like the fourth generation of our family on this property, but we've lived here on this actual property since about 2000. But I grew up just across the road.
Really? Oh yeah, your mom lives right down the street from you there. So it's been a little while, and I mean, you live right by the Allegheny National Forest.
Not too far from the Allegheny National Forest. I can be there in just a few minutes.
Okay. So do you think that's part of what's bringing all these things to you? Or is it something that you think?
I think it's just me. I think it's just me, because it ran in my dad's side of the family. So.
Okay, awesome.
But the Allegheny National Forest is a major hotspot for, the weird and the unusual. And
well, I mean, yeah, you've seen it right in your back fence and stuff, so that's pretty darn cool. And anything ever come up to you? I mean, did you have ever had any Bigfoot on your property itself?
At the end of our driveway, I got the footprints, the juvenile Bigfoot footprints. Yeah.
Wow.
And then the recording that I did from my yard. Vocalizations.
Yeah. That's, to me, that's pretty fascinating, because I live, you live more in the woods than I do. I'm like,
I am in the woods, basically.
Yeah. I'm nowhere near. I mean, a little bit of woods behind me, but nothing. And it's, I just find that, pretty cool that things come up to you like that. How long have you been seeing the UFOs in the sky?
Oh, probably for about the last maybe 2 years. I mean, I've always seen something, but I've never really started paying attention until like the last year and a half, 2 years, where I started taking pictures and stuff like that, videos.
You sent me one video a long time ago, and you hadn't. I played it for myself here, and I mentioned something. Let's set this up real quick, and I'm going to play this video. That's an overlay. So you were taking your dog out one night. I don't remember what time it was. You kind of take it from there. And you know what video I'm talking about, correct?
Yeah. That was November 30th, 2023, when I got this one here. Yeah, I took Cassie out like I normally do. She's kind of my UFO buddy. That's my reason for going outside at night. So, and I look up in the sky, and then I see things.
And it was a calm night. There wasn't any rain or anything.
No, nope, nothing.
And it was just you and your dog out there, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So you might need to pump up the volume on this, but not the jam. Pump up the volume. Anyway, go ahead and pump up the volume on this a little bit, because it's a little quiet, but you're going to hear some things that is a little odd. Here we go. So between the trees, you see the lights, and that was
Mhm.
the UFO, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, it was that one there was just kind of flickering and just kind of, hanging out.
But as
But
far as the knocking, you didn't hear anything like that before.
no, no, not until you mentioned it. And then I listened to it again. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. It almost sounded like somebody typing or doing Morse
Yeah,
code or something like that.
yeah, or hitting the
Yeah.
camera. I guess you're using your phone.
Yeah. I was using my phone. Yeah.
Yeah. So that I've seen a couple or I've heard reports of videos like that where you're hearing like little knocks or clicks or something like that, and maybe that's them trying to communicate, possibly. I don't know.
I have no idea.
Yeah. Here's the other one. You know what? That was the first one. That was the same one I just showed. Hang on. Here's the other one. We're off to a great start. Hang on. All right. It almost sounded like there was a plane flying by at the end of that.
Could have been. I don't know. There wasn't any. That was November 30th, and I don't think we had any leaves on the trees at that point either.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that was a great capture, and not everybody's up to taking their phone out at what 2 o'clock in the morning or midnight or whenever you went out there with Casey. But good thing you did.
yeah, I like the ones that move through the sky better, but that was kind of
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, with the knocks and stuff, that sounds like pops or somebody beating on chest. Well, could be interesting. Here's another picture that you sent me of the UFO or something in the sky.
Yeah, the odd shapes that
Yeah.
just appear.
So they just appear in the night
Yeah.
sky.
Yep. Yeah, different forms of triangular, just oddball triangular type shapes.
And no sound still.
No sound. No.
There's another one. Now, could this be that other one just kind of turning or something?
Different days.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it could be the same one, but it's different days.
Yeah. Hey, Rye, how you doing? Finster's in the house. What's up, Jason?
Hi, Rye.
This kind of looks like almost like the Tic Tac crafts that we're seeing on both coasts. But you're far enough in that I don't know if that would be the case.
We're nowhere near the coast.
Yeah. Yeah. And I can't remember what this picture is. Oh, yeah. Explain this one a little bit.
That was a big blue pulsating light that was up in the sky. You can see the difference between the size of it and the stars that was up there with it. If you look at it, it's kind of oddball shaped, like your eye would look. And when it got bigger, that's when the center got lighter, and then it would go back to regular again.
So was it just something, just like a small ball in the center, or something round in the center, or was it a ring around it?
It was just, it's like a light ball,
Hmm.
like a light colored ball. And then it did that for a little bit, and then it just blinked out. Just totally went away.
Wow. So something, and there's no military base anywhere near you.
No.
Okay, I think there's one on the other side of the state, maybe.
Yeah.
But oh, really? So David says Jason and I had seen something similar to this. Interesting.
Cool.
Yeah, we'll have to when I'll forget by the time we're on. So Dave, it's your job to remind me. Hi, Tina. So I mean, have you ever had any encounters with UFO or anything? Where
No.
they land or anything
Like,
you
no,
see an an ET or anything?
No. The best one I seen was that one down at Mom's, but the one that was daytime.
Okay.
But
You didn't send that picture, darn it.
I
Did
sent
you
that
get a
to you a
picture?
long time ago.
Oh, that was a long time ago before we had this book. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
And we do
I
have
could send it to you, but it's too late now.
Yeah. Well, yeah. We do have a very interesting topic. I kind of want to save for a little bit. That is really kind of cool. I saw something driving home. We go Smith. Oh, really? Interesting, Rob. Okay. So, and you also you're kind of, you do remote viewing, or are you a sensitive or a medium?
I just call myself a sensitive.
Okay.
I don't really do readings for anybody because the spirits have to come to me. I don't call them up or anything like that.
And they do come to you.
Yeah, apparently.
We will explain here shortly. Now you sent me this other picture, and I remember to put it on here. Kind of set this one up a little bit.
Okay, the little girl.
Yeah.
Okay, my friend Chris caught a picture on her camera trap in her barn of a little girl who was actually a ghost, and this was back in 2020 that she had caught her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And when did this girl die?
No idea. We have no idea.
Okay.
She looks like it's like an old-fashioned dress, little girl's dress.
Yeah.
Nothing recent.
And it looks pretty darn real.
Yeah.
That little girl in the middle. I mean, that actually looks like my cousin's daughter.
Yeah, little blonde girl.
Yeah. Yep. Wow. And this is in a barn?
Yep. And I don't think she has any shoes on either. She's barefoot. By the looks of it.
Yeah, I can't really tell. How often does that show up? Do you remember? Or
I don't know if Chris has really seen her since seeing her in a picture, but she knows she's there. And we were over there the one time, and I was looking at the picture, and Chris had already been calling her. She was calling her Amelia because somebody had told her that was a name. Her name was something that had a strong E to it. But the more I looked at the picture, I kept getting Abigail. Mm-hmm. That her name was Abigail.
Really?
Yeah. So I kind of asked Chris, how set are you on Amelia? I think her name is Abigail.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when we left, when my husband Calvin and I, we were driving home, we got no more than probably half a mile at the most from Chris's house. Mm-hmm. And then I have this little girl's voice that I hear, and she wants to know where Shelby is. She wants to play with Shelby. Shelby is one of Chris's dogs. She's a blue heeler.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had to tell her that Shelby is back at Chris's, and if she wants to play with Shelby, she has to go back to Chris's.
Really?
So, yep. And then she left. And then later on, when I was talking to Chris, this was several days later, I asked her if Shelby ever acts kind of weird, like she'll be laying there and, maybe just roll on her back and act like she's getting a tummy rub or something like that. And, that she says, yeah, she has a weird dog. And I said, no, because she, Abigail is giving her tummy rubs. She loves Shelby.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is cool. I mean, dogs, I think, can see stuff like that as well. I catch our dogs kind of just looking around. I often wonder what they're seeing. And stuff.
My Cassie Joe does that too. She can sense it, and I'll catch her just looking over in one area underneath the ceiling fan, the light over that area where I have seen my ghost. I'll catch her just laying there staring over in that direction.
And you've had, I guess, resident ghosts in your house, in the bathroom, turning lights on and off.
Harold, yeah.
Harold, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Harold the ghost.
Yeah, he started getting a little aggressive there. The lights were really, really, really going. He started playing with the colors on the lights. So,
really,
I decided I had to probably move him on. So, he's not there no more.
Wait, how do you move him on?
I just basically told him that only entities of, spirits of the light are allowed to be in my house. Anything in darkness has to move on. So I said it a couple times, and then he was gone.
Oh, that's good. So how long have you been seeing these things?
For as long as I can remember.
Spirits coming to you.
For as long as I can remember. My first day of first grade, on a school bus going down around the cemetery where my grandfather's buried, he was standing on the bank of the graveyard down by the road. He was standing up on the bank and with his arms crossed, watching me head off for my first day of school.
Wow. And did you ever say anything to your dad?
No, I never mentioned anything because, I didn't want people thinking I was weird, so I didn't even say anything to my mother until after my father passed away, but yeah, I've seen things most of my life.
Wow.
For as long as I can remember. I even had a shadow cat living in my bedroom for a while.
A shadow cat? Did you name it? Shadow?
No. Nope. It was just a black shadow in the form of a cat that would come in and lay in my room for a while and get up and walk out and just come and go. And it was there for a couple of weeks, and then it left. And my cousin Diana, she is a really, really good psychic. She told me that the cat was there just recently, that the cat was there to, protect me from something.
Really?
But I don't know what. Yeah. And then after the danger was gone, the cat went away.
Wow. Huh. Shadow cat protects you. That's awesome.
Yeah. Unlike one of Michael's that startled me.
All right. Gotta talk about that. What happened in Michael's? I mean, you told me this, I think, before, but
yeah. Mom and I were in Michael's one day, and we were going down the aisle, and I was going to go off to the right. Now I decided I needed to go to the left instead. So as soon as I turned, right in my face, barely a foot away from my face, was a black shadow person. It was like from the waist up. And I think I startled it as much as it startled me, because it was like somebody had a rope around it and it just yanked it back. That's how fast it went. And as it went backwards, it dissipated. It's like a black mist, and it dissipated.
I mean, do you get that often where you're out and about doing just, whatever, and all of a sudden you see a shadow figure, walking, down
I see
an aisle
things
like that?
Yeah, I've seen shadow things come across the road and disappear down into the road before we hit it. It's like it dove in for safety, So.
You and Greg Ogles have a little something in common. He has a ghost cat too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, Mr. Moist. I don't know if that was questioned towards you or what color. I guess it's just the shadow figure. You don't know.
It was black. It was black.
Oh, black. Okay.
The shadow figure, and yeah. I told you about that, Mom.
Mom, you're learning a lot of stuff tonight. And we still got a good one coming up. Mr. Moist. That
Mr. Moist with sprinkles.
Yeah, Matt, that is a long story. And that's yeah, we're gonna have to just get into that some other time. That was funny. I can't remember. I guess he did talk about it on one of the shows. Anyway, I lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
See, you mentioned moist sprinkles and Greg. Thank you for bringing moist sprinkles into my life. Anyway, so do things? Is it often that things come into your entities show themselves to you?
I hear them all the time, and I've been woken up by them upstairs. And had a carriage up in my bedroom one morning, horse carriage.
A carriage?
Yeah, I heard this sound of it's like metal clanging, and then next thing I hear this guy saying, "Ma'am, ma'am," and then it came to me. I actually had a horse carriage, and he wanted me to get on the carriage, and it's like, no, thank you.
Wow.
Yeah.
And Calvin, your husband, he doesn't see any of this stuff.
He's seen the lights blinking and stuff when the ghosts do that, but no, he doesn't see any of this other stuff.
What does he think about your abilities?
He's kind of shrugged his shoulders. Life goes on.
Yeah.
He doesn't get too thrilled.
Okay. And you take him to events and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, he spends most of his time out in the truck or the van reading books.
Yeah. I'm sorry, MK Ultra. My mic is driving his OCD insane. I can't really, because it only goes up or down, and I can't get it unless I hook it up here. Then you're going to see the arm there, so I can't. I apologize. Mickey, we'll have to get the Zoom going. I can tell you about that. So let's get into our little incident. That's not an incident. You call it a remote viewing session. I guess it is.
That's the only thing I know how.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what else to call it.
So to set this up, you were, I don't remember if you were like the day before, if you weren't feeling good, or if you were in
it was
a bad
that
mood
morning.
Like that.
It was that morning, and my husband flooded the bathroom. So I was cleaning it up and wasn't happy about it.
We're not going to ask any more questions about that. We're just going to move on. MK, I just wanted to show you
the float in the toilet got stuck to the back of the tank. Look, at least it's clean water.
Okay. we'll leave it at that. So and something made me, reach out to you and see how things were going, because I knew you were upset. So at the time I was smoking a brisket, and I mentioned it to you, and you had asked me if my dad liked barbecuing.
Yeah, because when we were sitting here and I was, chatting back and forth, a man's voice came up and said, "I like the meat." And I knew it wasn't one of my ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when I asked you if your father liked, meat, barbecuing, and whatever.
And he did. He barbecued a lot. But, it wasn't, I don't want to, he didn't barbecue all that much, but he did barbecue a lot. I think we had a gas grill back then. It was always pork steaks a lot. So, but this time I was making a beef brisket, and which it turned out great, by the way.
We wouldn't know. You didn't share.
That is true. So he did like barbecuing, and he came through to you. And I had mentioned that with Julie Marie on here, she's done readings before, and my dad's come through to her. And the day he died, I wasn't there for him. I was there for Mom, but I wasn't there when Dad died. It just seemed like a normal time going to the ER. He wasn't feeling good, and they kept him. But I had to get up early the next day, and it didn't seem serious to me, and the doctors didn't indicate that it was that serious. So I went home, and I wasn't there when he passed away that night, or that early that next morning. And as you can imagine, I was upset about that, and I still am. And I mentioned that to you, and I'm looking at my notes over here on this other monitor. And what did he say to you?
He said to tell you that it was okay, that you weren't there, and for you not to think about it anymore, that he was okay.
Sorry, I'm bringing it up again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I had heard that before. So that kind of validated that to me a little bit more. So then, I kind of mentioned that, and we're going to get back to my dad here in a few minutes. I kind of mentioned to you that, after Mom died, Dad and I got, closer and everything. And then you started seeing somebody in the shadows again.
Yep. I seen a woman standing there in the shadows. She had shadows makes hair look darker all the time anyways, but she had light brown hair, shoulder height or shoulder length. It was wavy and curly. She was a lot shorter than what your dad had appeared to be, and all that. Yeah. And I asked you if you recognize that person.
And that was probably my mom, yep. Minus the darker hair. She had kind of like dishwater blonde hair. But she kind of stayed in the shadows, which she was a shy person as I was growing up. And from what all the stories that I've heard from her past, she's always been a shy person, which, believe it or not, I've been a shy person too.
Yeah.
I was. So then things got a little weird. Not weird, but you kind of take it from there, because you're the one that saw this. Actually, no. You asked me if my grandfather liked sitting with my legs, or with
if he sat in a chair and if he crossed his left leg over his right when he would sit there. He had his hands in his lap.
I have a picture, and I don't know where it is, but there is a picture of my grandfather sitting in a chair with his legs crossed. He has a cowboy hat on, cowboy boots on. And I mean, that's probably very similar to and I can't find that picture. I have no idea where that picture is. But I can see it in my head. That's what I'm picturing that you're seeing. And this was around, this was in the spring, because I was watching Cardinal spring training game down in Jupiter, Florida. And Dad loved the Cardinals. Grandpa, not so much, but Dad loved the Cardinals. And
yeah, he said he was ready.
Yeah. Yep. And when you said that, I kind of felt the tingles. It felt like something was near me, and it was just really a cool feeling right there. That something was right there with me. I'm going through my notes here. Oh. Earlier that day, I was changing light bulbs in my basement. Yep. We had, and I've been down there again, and we keep having lights go out. and they're hard to find. So I'm changing lights, and I'm actually taking lights from one room and putting them in like the bar area, so we don't go in the other room as much, so I can have light in by the bar. And I kept feeling like there was somebody watching me or with me, and that was probably my grandpa.
Yeah, and then
So
you went and turned your spirit box on too.
I
got ahead of you, huh?
Yeah, you did. You jumped ahead of me.
Well,
so
we'll get to that. Go to whatever you had lined up next.
I don't know.
Because my notes are all out of order here myself.
Okay. I don't think I did that right away. I did the spirit box right away. You saw. Well, tell me what you saw with others.
Oh, yeah. After your mom finally came out of the shadows and stuff, and then it's like your family just started coming out of the woodwork. Different people and all that, and they were just. It was like old home day there at your house. Everybody was just chatting and having a good time, and you could just feel the love that they had for you.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
And this, I believe this was the second time that my family showed up. It's the first time was if you guys remember the experience I had on BMR show, and I will forever be grateful to him for suggesting that I put the God's helmet on. That's when my grandfather and my father came through, and Sir Brian Bowden was there. I'll forever be grateful to BMR to suggest it, because I was kind of thinking about doing that. So this will be the second time that's happened, and every time I go into a location, I always say a prayer to them to protect me and stuff. So I'm pretty sure that they're all around and they're keeping things away. Somebody said something to you about my son as well.
Yeah, your mother.
Okay.
Yeah. She basically said for him to be good because grandma's watching. She spends a lot of time with him.
Really? Yeah. He has never said anything about that
he might not sense her or see her.
Yeah.
But she's watching over him.
Okay, cool. I mean, she did love her grandson. My wife's mom's still alive, so I mean that obviously can't be her. Her dad, I'm sure, is with him and watching over him. I mean, we named him after her dad. So I think outside of somebody said that child.
Yeah, that was your grandmother, I think.
I don't remember her saying that to me, but I mean, she could have. Because I was kind of
I think that was a comment about you being such a jokester when you were younger, and it was like she would go like that child.
Yeah,
like
I never got into big trouble, but I always was a jokester and a prankster and stuff. I guess I still am. So I am I missing anything besides the spirit box?
I don't know. I'm trying to look down at my notes. If anybody sees me looking down, that's what I'm doing.
And you were just seeing things left and right. I mean,
yeah, it was like coming out of the woodwork, just popping in.
Yeah. And it I thought it was just a fantastic experience up until this point still. That, I mean, everybody was just coming through, and I've never had anybody comment about that before. And for them to go and show you, I mean, that's pretty cool. And you've never had anything like that happen before?
No.
Wow.
No. So, I don't, I've never tried to do a reading or anything. It's just your father came to me, said he liked the meat.
Yeah.
So that started it all.
Yeah.
He liked your brisket.
Yeah. It was, not to brag, but it was pretty good. Anyway. So actually, this isn't the only time. Another time, my another grandpa came to you,
Yeah. Yeah.
and he was just kind of, I guess. Well, you explain it.
Yeah. He just kind of showed up, stood there, kind of had his arms crossed, and just kind of looking like, okay, and then he disappeared.
Yeah.
Then I sent you a message and asked if basically he was one of yours again.
They keep going over to you. I don't know. I don't know what the connection is. I mean, we've never met in person.
No.
And I honestly, you won a T-shirt. That's how we started communicating.
Yeah.
On I guess that was when BMR hit 5,000 or whatever.
Yeah, I think it was.
Whatever it was. Yeah. And you won the shirt. By the way, the K2 meter has slowed down a lot right now. Okay. Maybe they're bored with the story.
They've heard it before.
Yeah, they lived it, or well, not lived it. But. So after this, I got my spirit box out, and I don't like doing that in my house, but I wanted to find out, what was going on, if it was him or not. So I turned the thing on, and the spirit box it sweeps frequencies and stuff, and you hear little blips of radio stations coming through, and clear as day, I heard my name be called out, and it just said Paul. A little bit more enthusiastic than that, but it sounded to me like it was his voice. Unfortunately, I didn't get it recorded. I should have been recording that. But hey, Brent, I see you came in. I just noticed somebody in chat, and Pancho's here.
Oh. Hi, Brent.
So he was here to see.
Yeah, he was letting you know he was there.
Yeah. So I mean, to me, and then when I told you that, that validated it for you as well. So
yeah.
So that was pretty cool. That was a pretty cool spring event. Yeah. Apparently that I had an open house at my house and didn't even know it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now,
and then you were going to go get snacks, and you asked me what your father liked for snacks. And then I told you that somebody said something about those little hot dogs, like
little weenie
things. Yeah. And your father was just there shrugging his shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
And it turned out to be that your mother said the weenies, and your dad wasn't going to argue with her.
Yeah. So she would make, whenever we had company coming over, whether it was friends or a family gathering at their house or whatever, she would make the little hot dog wieners wrapped in dough. We'd call them little, what do we call them? Little wieners. But people call them pigs in the blanket, but that's something different around here.
Yeah.
So yeah, he liked that, and I really like those too.
He wasn't going to argue with her.
No. So Pancho, you know what they are, piggies in a blanket, but that's not what we call them. We call them, I think we just call them little wieners. I don't remember what we call them. Little smokies. They're little smokies wrapped in dough, in like biscuit dough. Yeah. So little smokies. Yeah. Anyway, wrapped weenies. Thank you, honey.
You tell him, Tammy.
That's right. She knows.
You don't argue with women.
No.
Apparently your dad knew that too. You don't argue with them.
Yeah, we're not going to get into that one. But that's why she's here. Yeah, so that was our really cool experience. And I just think that's cool that they went to you. I guess went to you to get to me.
Yeah.
So
they knew we were chatting, apparently.
Yeah. And I guess mom or somebody had me contact you. I don't know. That was weird.
Yeah, because you said that you felt that you were supposed to send me a message and see how my day was going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know,
So
and then when you and Thomas were sitting on the couch there, and your mother walked up behind them too, you know,
mm-hmm.
I'm not sure because that was at an angle, but it looked like she put her hands down on his shoulders. It was either on his shoulders or on the back of the couch next to his shoulders. But it looked like she put her hands on his shoulders while you guys were watching the game.
And I don't think he felt anything. So yeah, I'm not sure if he got that.
Yeah, he might not
So
have.
when you're seeing all these spirits or all these things coming through, did you, I mean, do you see what the house looks like and everything, or?
Not real clearly. I mean, I could tell you what room they're in and stuff like that. And yeah, like your mother,
Okay.
I could see that she was standing, beside a kitchen table in the kitchen, but that's all I could see. I don't get a lot of details.
Mm-hmm.
I can't play I Spy, so
Well, I was just curious. I mean, if you're seeing them, if you could see where they're at, and as like what room and what the rooms and all that stuff look like, and everything. So I mean, that would be pretty interesting as well.
Yeah, no, I just see what is basically right there around that person itself and nothing beyond that.
Okay. Do they have like a glow to them, or?
They look like a real person, but just toned down, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm. I mean, this is for
Like faded, a little faded, I guess you would say.
Okay. And you could see, well, obviously you could see me and Thomas. Thomas being my son, by the way, in case you guys didn't catch that. See you, Matt. Have a great show.
See you, Matt.
I lost it again. So I mean, you see the real alive people there too.
Yeah, the people I'm focusing on, I can see them better. I can see some detail in them, but like the rest of your family that was coming in, it was just, I could tell basically male from female, but I didn't get any real detail, because they were just moving around and, like they were all just talking, having a good time, and but they weren't conversing with me, so they didn't come through as much.
And not having this really happen before, I mean, I was going to ask, I mean, do they normally just converse with you to send messages to others? I guess Jilly could answer that as well. But I mean, who knows? I mean, you might be on the same path as Jilly is here now, all of a sudden. Jilly's being the medium that comes on here quite often and does readings for people.
Oh, okay.
So I'm still blown away by that experience. That it was just awesome.
Got me in a pretty good mood.
Yeah, I mean,
it cheered me up. I was picking up on all the happiness and the joy and everything that your family was feeling. At that point, I didn't care if the bathroom got flooded. I didn't care anymore. So I was in a good mood.
Yeah. Been there before, flooded many bathrooms. See you, Natalie. Have a good show over on the Fisher's show. So, I mean, you've had this ability for quite some time. Do you think this is something that you could learn to maybe expand?
Probably, because when I was little, it just got like too noisy. Too much going on. It got too noisy, so I shut it off some. I mean, I'd still see things, experience stuff, but I didn't have all that background noise going on. And then probably since my father passed away in 2021, then I've been really, opening it back up and everything, and learning to experience more and having more come through and all that.
So Jilly's response, in her experience, they show just enough detail so the person receiving the message gets validation shivers, which I was getting.
I showed you my goosebumps.
Yeah, you had goosebumps.
Yep.
I certainly felt the shivers,
Yep.
or the tingle. I didn't have shivers. I had the tingly
Hmm.
sensation a couple times. Hey, Tennessee, Kentucky, Bigfoot. Um, so I mean, this could be pretty cool. Something that you could, maybe try and expand. And I think the more people see and the more people do this, the more open they are to things. Because since I've started this, I've seen and felt more than normal than I had ever
Yeah,
done.
I think the wearing the God's helmet, I think, helped to open you up too, open you up more.
Yeah, that was. I don't know if I'm going to do that again because it can be good and bad.
Hmm.
I know when on our conference in September 19th and 20th, in case you have not heard about the Crossing Realms Conference coming to Richmond, Missouri, September 19th and 20th. Be there.
I wish
Anyway,
I could.
yeah, I wish you could too. That would be cool. Um, where was I going with that? I completely lost. Well, I just flustered myself with that. And yeah, it could be a good and bad experience with that thing. I just assume leave it at the experience that I had.
Yeah.
And we were just at a couple weeks ago. We were down back in Emmaus Village,
Emmaus.
and
Yeah.
somebody else had the God's helmet on, and they were seeing like different parts of the complex there and everything, and like somebody was showing them things.
Yeah.
So have you ever had the God's helmet on?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I didn't even know it existed until I seen it on your guys' show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty
But I
interesting.
told you to go to the basement though. You wouldn't listen. You pulled the bathtub room.
I pulled the bathtub room.
Yeah, when you had to go and stay there. You're supposed to go
Oh.
in there, stay there, and the spiders were in there.
Oh yeah, I'm not going to go in the spiders.
Yeah. No.
You mind taking a question or two?
Okay.
It's nothing bad.
Okay.
Barbara, have you seen the Dogman?
Just in remote viewing, and that was it. I haven't seen one, with right in front of me or anything.
That's probably just as well to remote view a Dogman.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, when I seen them, I was outside and they were on the other side of my fence, and they told me, the one on the third night of seeing them out there, the one told me that they know that I can see them,
mm-hmm.
and that I wasn't what they were there for.
Really?
Yeah. So
What were they there for?
I think they might have been looking for the Bigfoot we have. That was just a feeling I had that they were actually looking for the Bigfoot. I don't think they get along too well.
Really? So
Yeah, because there was three of them there, and they were bipedal, but they were bent over, and their noses were really sniffing around the area and like they were looking for something.
Mm-hmm. Pancho, I'll get to that in just a second. I've got another question. Do you think that, and like you said, that they don't get along well? Do you think that as a whole, they're like enemies, Bigfoot and Dogman?
I really don't know. I've heard so many other people saying that they don't get along, but I don't know myself.
Okay.
I really don't.
Pancho asked if you could describe your the Dogman that you saw.
They were tall and like real lanky, kind of almost emancipated, or like they were malnourished or something, like that. And they were the bipedal. They were like a real dark brownish, and had some black and a little bit of gray in them and stuff like that.
Okay.
I actually drew a picture of what I seen, but
And kind of getting back, almost kind of making full circle here.
okay.
We'll kind of go around another lap too. So a lot of the things in your book, okay, great. A lot of things in your book you get from dreams. Did you tell me
Yeah.
that once?
Yeah, my normal dreams are everybody else's nightmares, basically.
Wow.
That's where my Dogman book came from, is from my dreams.
Was that the Dogman that you saw? Josiah Wolf, was that the Dogman that you saw remotely?
No,
Okay.
that was long before that when I had.
Okay.
No, and I had that big, real ghostly gray, long haired. I don't know if it was a coy wolf or what, but it was on the outside of my 4-foot chain link fence, and its ears were at the top of the fence.
Wow.
It was huge, and it was after I had seen that. That's when I had dreamed about, well, I didn't even know what Dogman was at that point until I had, written the book. And then I sent my cousin Deb the synopsis for it. And she's up on all this stuff. She says, you wrote about Dogman. It's like, oh, okay.
Really?
I looked into Dogman. I was like, yeah, you're right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And you had no idea.
No.
That's weird
I didn't know
that,
back at that point in time.
Yeah. So things were coming to you then that, I mean, you didn't know then, but
I didn't know about. Yeah,
now.
I didn't.
That's
yeah.
Wow. And made a book out of it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I did that one. Now, Greg asked, and I don't know if anybody's mentioned this to you or what it means even. Why does she have a red aurora?
I don't know. I was told by somebody from my friend Kevin Paul that I actually had a white aura. I can't say that word. Sorry.
Aura.
But aura. Yeah, that I actually had a white one. So I don't know if I have a red one now or not. I have no idea.
What does the color mean? Do you know? Because I have no clue.
I don't either.
Okay. Can anybody tell
Might
us
have
what
to look
the
that
color
up.
means? Yeah.
Yeah, somebody Google real quick.
Yeah.
Usually I'm the one Googling. Can't do it right now.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing about live shows, you can't do the Googling right quick.
Thanks, Pam.
Thank you, Pam, for putting
Appreciate
that up.
it.
That is your
YouTube channel.
Thank you
where
for
all my
reading
books
that.
are and where this will be later.
And another one. Yep. There's another one there. And make sure that you head on over to Pancho. Red eyes are bad. That's what I've heard. Yeah.
Well, my Dogman I seen in my remote viewing, he had blue eyes, real bright blue eyes, like they were backlit blue eyes.
Have you ever gone into the woods looking for Bigfoot or anything?
No. Things seem to come to me. I don't,
Oh yeah, you don't really go too far.
Red's energy and passion.
Okay, so those with white auras
Thanks,
are known for their purity, spiritual awareness, and deep connection to the higher consciousness.
Yeah.
So that could be the white.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jilly, red is energy and passion. Okay, that clears that up. Thank you, guys. That's why we have the best. That's why I have the best chat ever. You guys are awesome. Always there. And I should have said something at the beginning of the show. Thank you, Pam. Strong, passionate, driven, ambitious. Does that describe you?
Pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, we've chatted a lot, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not that long. But I mean, that's pretty much what I get out of that. Let's see. No, what was I going to say? Oh, I should have said this in the beginning. Mom agrees. So thanks, Mom.
Yeah, she knows I'm a worker.
Krista's not here tonight. Obviously, you don't see Krista sitting here. She is down at Emmaus. She is squatching right now. The one time when they were there, they got a recording of what they, not sure what it is. I mean, it could have been a Bigfoot or a Dogman. They sent it out to a bunch of people, and they don't know what it is. So they're out looking for that. Her and Brandy and a bunch of other people are out there as well. So hopefully they find what they are looking for and don't get eaten.
Yeah.
So
that wouldn't be good.
No
snacks allowed.
No.
So
I want to. There you go, BJ. You do a lot.
Yeah, I do a lot. Yeah, Barbara knows I do a lot. I'm busy all the time.
my K2 is going off again. Paul, can you show the pic of the thing I sent you? What did you send me, Pancho? Now I'm curious.
It's a secret.
I don't know if I can. I don't have anything from you, Pancho.
Thanks, Crystal. I appreciate that. That was sweet.
Yeah. I don't have anything, Russell. Or Russell, Pancho.
I sidetracked you.
Yeah, you did. Anyway, so you do, and I actually have some. You do a lot of like wood. I don't want to say carvings, but
And I do driftwood artwork with cryptids, and I do wood burning and stuff like that. And
you sent me a little keychain with an alien on it.
Yeah,
it broke.
It broke.
Yeah.
How did it break?
Where the ring is that holds it on there, I guess it just came off.
Oh, bummer.
So, yeah. Oh, okay. So the pic didn't send. Okay. Well, send it to me again. paranormalamongus72@gmail.com. So this is fun. Any other crazy experiences that we missed? That you wanna enlighten your mom on?
I don't know. This is my everyday life. I don't know. There's always something happening.
It's just crazy to me that stuff like this happens to you every single day.
Yeah, it's just the norm for me.
Wow.
And when I found out you said you were going to Emmaus, I didn't even know what it was, but yet I seen what the building looked like, and I seen the chapel there.
Yeah, and you were mentioning this one time, and the big building. There's one big building that used to be the asylum, and then down the road a little bit, there's a building that is was the nurses' quarters and the nurses' stations and stuff. I guess where they had patients there as well, and then the chapel up on the hill, which is haunted. They won't let us up there. But it is haunted. So
yeah, you went into the bathroom or the bathtub room, and you said that nurse was scalded, and I told you that she was murdered. She died at another's hand, and then you said you were going to read the plaque there that was on the wall, and here it was because of the patient that pulled her in there, and she died at the hands of another.
Yeah, and like you said, you hadn't been there before.
No, I didn't even know where it was or what it was.
Yeah,
no idea. When I was working on that box that you have there, that
the box
for Pam. Yeah. When I was working on that, that's when the visions of that place came to me.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you think that how that happens? Is it just all of a sudden it just comes, or is
it just comes in?
No warning or anything?
Like, no, just like somebody flips a switch and it's like, oh, there it is.
Wow. It was a creepy bathroom. And honestly, nothing really happened when I was there. I don't know if it was, mom, dad, grandma, and grandpa keeping me safe or whatever. It just, I heard a few knocks and stuff. And unfortunately, there was some people on the property that were working on a bus and making a lot of noise. So, we were getting what we thought were EVPs and stuff. We had to throw it out because, there are people right outside the building making noise that we didn't know what that was. So, but, and your mom has no idea about this stuff. Or most of the stuff.
No, she's learning a lot. Because
now, I guess she
knows that I see stuff, I hear stuff, I experience stuff, but she just never knows what to what extent, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you said your dad had this ability somewhat.
Yeah, but he never talked about it either. And my first inkling that he might have was when we were building this place and we were sitting. The back room still has garage doors on. We were sitting out there in that room with the garage door open, and I started hearing gravel crunching, and I knew who it was, And then Dad, he says somebody's coming, and I'm like, oh, somebody else hears it besides me. And so I said, I know, it was my grandfather, the spirit of my grandfather, coming up to check out the progress and stuff, because I seen him standing out there watching pretty much most of the build when I'd be out there working and stuff, and I'd look over and I'd see him standing in the driveway with his arms crossed and just kind of watching what's going on.
And you were younger, well, obviously. I mean, that didn't freak you out at all?
You mean when the first time I seen him, or when we were building up here?
The first time.
First time? No.
Wow.
Nope. I just thought it was kind of cool that he was there watching me on the bus first day of school.
Huh. Watching his granddaughter.
Yeah.
Okay. Here, Pancho just sent me this picture. Oh, wow. So hang on a second. Let me, I don't know if this will come through on the screen. Oh, no, it's not.
No. You blow it up.
We're trying to, oops. Okay. Trying to get it on my, there we go. Save it on my phone. And then I will send it to my computer and we can put it on. This really has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but it is a cool picture of I don't know what it is. So we will show and finder. Hang on 1 second, please. So now do that, and we'll get it here in just a second. Actually, this is probably, he's probably asking if this is something similar to what you saw on here. It is, there it is. So it's got some things up on top. I can't really zoom into it. Let me see if I can do this. Yeah. Desktop. There. Let me get this a little bit better here. So, percent share screen, window there. Okay. So this is what he sent me, and we can. Well, I can't zoom in. Well, and you just sent me a picture.
Yeah, I sent you the picture I drew of basically what my Dogman looked like. That spoke to me.
Okay. So you see this picture.
If that's
here,
what he was, I didn't know if that's what he was sending or not.
It's
supposed to be a
kind of similar. So I have yours. Let's go there. Let's do that.
It's not perfect, but
okay.
It kind of represents.
This is gonna go over there. I do this a lot. Where I talk to myself and as I'm doing things, so I know what to do. So here, let's bring that back up.
Yeah, Barbara, you'll see this. This looks emancipated. Or I can't. That's another word I can't say. Emaciated.
Emaciated. Also. Okay, so there we go. I have it up there now. Don't you hate it when you have like a bubble or something in your throat and you kind of sounds weird?
Just certain words. I just can't say.
Like I can't say regularly. I can't say regularly or authenticate. Okay. Anyway, that's the Dogman you saw.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really skinny. And
so the picture that Pancho sent was kind of skinny as well. Unfortunately, we couldn't see it. So, yeah.
If I took more time, I could have made that look better, but it was just a quick sketch.
Yeah. And you do this all from, I mean, do you do this like right away, like right when you wake up or right after you see it, or?
No, just my memory.
Really? Interesting. And then, so here, let's get this out of here.
Yeah.
So getting back to this book. So everything in here you drew.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. It's not going to show up on here. Trust me, it's not a blank page.
Well, Bigfoot doesn't want to be seen. You know that.
There you go. Okay, you can't really see it there. Okay,
but I see a little bit of trees, but
yeah, a little bit of trees. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of darkness on here. Here's one. Can't see it. Well,
Well, the hand-drawn Bigfoot on the front of the book is also in there.
Yeah. And was this one that you saw?
No.
Okay. But did this come to you?
No, I haven't seen the Bigfoot. I've only seen the footprints, and I got the vocalizations for it.
Okay. But has Bigfoot come to you in dreams or anything that you might have seen?
No.
Okay. Interesting.
I did get gifted though.
Really?
I got gifted an old soul crystal quartz crystal.
Really?
Yeah. When I had found footprints, I wasn't going to make a big deal because I don't want people coming here and traipsing through our woods and all that stuff and disturbing everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't going to, anybody I showed the pictures to, I wasn't giving them an exact location of where I am.
Right.
So, and I did a vendor show, and I was talking to a psychic woman. I went to her table to get crystals because I wanted to get some crystal quartz and a black tourmaline so I can put them in my necklace. And so I'm looking there, and she asked me, do you know that you have attachments? Like, yeah, I know. I already knew that because my father and my grandfather are attached to me.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I don't tell psychics anything, because if they're psychics, they should know.
Right.
So then, we're not really chatting. You were just, she's chatting a little bit, and, I'm trying to find it. She don't have what I needed, and then it was just basic chit chat. And then Darren, my friend Darren, came over. We're friends now, and he's a Reiki master. And he came over and he sat down, and a yellow jacket came over and started buzzing around his head while he's eating. So he took his arm, he started to swing at it. And I told him, no, don't do that. So I took my right hand, and I kind of slowly put it over, his head and brought it towards me. And I told it to come here. So it came over and it was buzzing, right in front of me. I told it can't be here. It has to go. And it just turned right around and left the tent, and he was asking me all about that and everything. And
wow.
The psychic woman, she said her spirit guides was telling her to pick up the deck of cards, and so she picked it up. She starts folding out, and then she folds it back up. And she says, no, she says, they're telling me just to flip it over. And I already knew what my spirit animal is. And she flips it over, and it's a picture of the wasp, which the yellow jacket is in the wasp family.
Wow.
Yeah. And to go in on that just a little bit before I finish this, I was outside one day out in front of the house here, and I accidentally stirred up a big yellow jacket nest, and there was like thousands of them out, and they were, yellow jackets are very aggressive. And I walk with a cane. I can't run. So I just stood there, and I just put my arms out, slightly, and said, what will be, will be. I mean, if I'm going to get stung, I want to get stung.
Right.
So they all buzzed around me. Not one landed on me. Not one attempted to sting me, nothing. So I just backed up slowly. I walked over, came in the porch door. About half a dozen followed me in. I went and opened up the other door, opened up the windows, left them all out. And yeah, my cousin, she told me that the reason they didn't sting me was because they are my spirit animal.
Wow.
So, but then back to Darren. Darren was, at the show, Darren asked me, some questions and stuff. And he said, you had a past life. And I said, yeah, I know I did. I know who I was. I know her name and I know what she went through.
Mm-hmm.
He told me I had an old soul. So, that. And then after that, then it was like the weekend after that, I was talking to my friend Dawn. She's in Oklahoma, and I was telling her what they had said on the chat and about how Darren, said about the old soul, and I was looking for the crystal quartz and all that.
Mm-hmm.
The next morning, I went out to my greenhouse, and there, sitting on the ledge on the outside, was a stone. It was a crystal. I took a picture of it. I Google lensed it, and it was an old soul crystal quartz.
Really?
Rock. Yeah.
That's incredible.
And where else would it come from? So I think
Yeah.
I was gifted because I think it was tuned into me when I was telling my friend Dawn, what they had said.
Yeah. Wow.
And we don't have those rocks around here, and how would it end up on the ledge of my greenhouse?
No kidding. Wow. Well, that's cool. Did you gift anything back?
No. Okay. No, I don't want to get into the gifting deal and all that. And I
I
do
don't
hear
blame
wood knocks when I'm in the garden. I have
Yeah.
knocked back, but that's about it.
Wow. Well, still, that's pretty cool. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. I mean, I want to try something because I've seen this on other shows.
Uh-oh.
There's that chat
Oh,
box
okay.
on the bottom. That's what
See, there's nothing on it on my end. All I see is a box.
But
See, I can slide
it'll
over.
show up here in a second.
And get out of it.
Now on my screen, you just slid into it.
Oh. No, on my screen, it's where my picture is. It's on the right hand side and takes up about a little better than a third of the area. Okay. But I don't see any chat on it.
Mickey just.
Oh, there's Mickey. I see Mickey on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, Mickey. Somebody needed to type. It was you.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, I guess it does work. I saw that on a couple other shows, and interesting. So there. Yeah, cool.
I might be able to go full screen then.
There you go. Oh, cool. Well, BJ, this has been a fantastic show. Awesome experiences that you guys had, or that you've had.
Thank you.
It's
at one point we had.
We had, yeah. I mean, that was that was really cool. That was really cool.
Yeah, they still visit off and on.
Visit you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Mom's like that. She if she likes you, she'll hang around a little bit, and if not, then she holds the grudge. But if she's hanging out over there, then
I think
you're in. Me. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I think your grandfather just came to see what this was all about.
Yeah, that's the one I didn't know much about. So.
Yeah. Well, I described him. You said that was him. That looked just like the slicked back hair, and
Yep.
The whole 9 yards. Old fashioned glasses.
I don't have the picture of him on here. But that was cool. So, all righty. Thank you so much for spending your part of your Saturday with us. Appreciate you.
It was fun. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
All week she's been so she did Ryvoss's show, and then she did Matt Emsh's show, and those were both recorded.
Yeah, this is the first live.
This is the first live. And she kept telling me, "Oh, I'm so nervous. Like, it is piece of cake." I mean, I didn't have that up on the screen, so that probably helped you out a little bit. But moms know. It was fine. So there you go. Mickey said you did great.
Thanks, Mickey.
I think you did great too. I mean, didn't come across too nervous. So all right, guys. Hope you all have a wonderful Memorial Day, and don't do anything crazy. Make sure you're
see review.
Not
review. Sure who you are.
Hello.
That's not far from me.
Guilfoyle. Okay.
Yeah, that's not far from me.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah. Well, maybe you got a friend over there. Cool.
I don't know.
All right. So yeah, see, you did it. Easy peasy.
Thanks, Jilly.
So, all right, guys, make sure that if you're out and about this Memorial Day weekend, you do so responsibly, and make sure you come back here to the next show. Speaking of, I've been doing some Monday shows. I will not be doing one this Monday. We'll be doing a barbecue with my in-laws and stuff. So that'll be fun, but unfortunately, I will not be doing a show that night. So just
see, and
make
I
sure
was
you
just
guys
going to tell everybody Monday. You ruined it.
No, sorry. Thanks, Dave.
Normally Monday.
Yeah, normally Monday. But next Saturday we'll be on. Natalie Smearman is going to be joining me. She's from Relic Films. She's with Greg Ogles.
Somebody came to say hello.
Cassie Joe. Hi there. Let's see if we can.
That's my baby girl.
Oop, wrong one. Oop, wrong one. No, I can't make it. No. So. All right. You guys have a great rest of your night, and we will see you later. I got to get to the right thing. There we go. One more time. There you go. See you guys. Have a great night.
This is the future. Evolution. This is the future.